Novic Wildcamper is a channel run by a solo outdoorsman. It's usually all about quiet hikes, easygoing trips, and relaxed wild camping. This one also started like any other overnight camp until the darkness brought something that didn't belong out there. December 20th, 2021. That day, Mad had been working nearby and decided to use the opportunity to spend a night on White Edge.
So I'm at the Peak District. Been working up this way, so thought I'd take the opportunity to come and sneak out into Mesna country.
A viewer recommended the spot, and the evening looked perfect, bright moon, and a gentle chill in the air. He walked in along the trail, past pockets of low mist hanging in the valleys, and found a place to set up his tent. Once camp was up, he settled into his normal routine, boiling water for his cheap teriyaki noodles, making coffee, and enjoying a bit of Jack Daniels while the temperature kept dropping. Around 9:30 p.m., Mad crawled into his sleeping bag and tried to get some sleep. That's when things changed. He had camped alone many times and knew what animals sounded like, but just as he started drifting off, a low, guttural cry echoed somewhere out in the dark.
Right, so I've heard deer, I've heard foxes make some really weird noises at night, but
It wasn't a bark or a scream or anything familiar. It sounded heavier, rougher, like something struggling for breath between each sound. Mad stayed vigilant, trying to guess what it might be. The noise came again, this time a little closer. He whispered into the camera, trying to stay calm, but his voice dropped as soon as the sound rolled across the hillside again.
not sure if the camera picked it up, but God knows what it is. It's quite a weird guttural sound. I'll try and boost it on the edit, see if you can. See if you can hear it, because that is really weird. Did you hear that? That's quite eerie. It does not sound like a deer. Definitely doesn't sound like a fox.
He sat perfectly still, waiting for footsteps or movement outside the tent, but nothing came. Mad stayed zipped inside his tent, not eager to shine a light and find out what was outside his tent. The place was pitch black, and whatever made that noise was close enough to unsettle him in a way he hadn't felt before. He tried to settle down shortly after and muttered a half-joking line, but there was tension behind it.
I'm going to zip up and put my earplugs in, I think. Try and get some sleep, and hopefully I'll still be here in the morning.
Something about that sound didn't sit right. By sunrise, he had already been up for hours. The night had dropped to around 2 degrees Celsius, and condensation covered the tent walls. The strange cry didn't return, but another odd sound took its place.
I'm acting like I've just woke up. It's about 7 o'clock. I've been up since 5. Just trying to get some morning shots, which I posted up on Instagram and Facebook. Don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there's a very weird sounding bird. It sounds like a kookaburra with a sore throat. It's not going to do it now.
It was a harsh, rattling call from a bird he didn't recognize, at least nothing like the usual Peak District birds he was used to hearing. It stayed close to camp, repeating the same rough call until he started packing up. Morning light made the ridge look calm again, almost harmless. But the memory of that deep, guttural noise stayed in the back of his mind. He took one last look at where his tent had been, slung his pack over his shoulder, and headed back toward the car. The night had been creepy, and whatever had roamed out there made it very clear he wasn't alone.